Okay, so I'm an artist by profession. I do graphic design and I also do photography. Photography is actually new to me as far as doing it professionally. I studied it in school. I've took so many classes of it in college, and I've always taken pictures out of just like enjoyment or wanting to capture a memory, but I never really considered it professionally until coming to Mexico. So that's like a new development that is actually inspired by Mexico. I was in San Miguel Allende and it was so beautiful. I found myself taking pictures of doors and windows and just all the beautiful scenery, the churches and all kind of very ornate and beautiful buildings. And I was just looking back on the pictures that I took and was like, oh, these are some really nice pictures. You know, I actually pay attention to stock photography and what sells. And so I actually saw the pictures that I was taking and was like, oh, you could sell this. I could totally sell this. There's other artists taking pictures of these. I've seen pictures of this on someone's travel Instagram. And then I research. I'm like a big research fanatic, especially when I discover something new. I could just go down a rabbit hole. And so that was like a rabbit hole of like all of what you could do with photography. Um, so yeah, I am a photographer. And where I actually got my start was New Orleans. I actually had just went to school. I was going to school at UNO. I was taking classes after I graduated because I was in such a rush to graduate and just like hurry up and get that out the way. I think a lot of, especially like inner city youth or average youth or whatever, like we are like pushed to go to college, and especially for something that's like more of a guarantee, like you know there always will be a need for nurses or like doctors or a teacher, even if they don't necessarily pay the best. You know that 9 out of 10 you're going to get a job with that degree. Whereas an artist is just kind of like, did you need to go to college? um, but yeah, I wasn't really encouraged to just take the classes that I actually wanted to take. I was just such in a rush to graduate. So I actually started taking classes after I graduated of things that I felt like I could actually use in the real world. You get a job and you basically just live like a more structured life. And I find that that's like the path that requires so much permission because you know you have to invalidation, external validation, because you have to get accepted by this person to get this job. You know, you can't get a promotion or move how you want to until this person says that you can move how you want to, if you ever get the chance to. So that contributed to me wanting to be an entrepreneur and me wanting to do this like permanently. Once I got a taste of like what it's like to build a whole lifestyle, like and pay for it with just my art stuff that I like doing anyway, it was just over with and receptive to like signs in my career to guide me as to what would be more successful, more money, more income. Okay, so what led me to leaving the US, um well, I mean, I had traveled around. I road tripped in my van. I called it the Namaste van. I literally had a hippie van. And I did that. Like, I had like a bucket list for 4 years of just traveling to different places that I always thought of living at, or just like that I thought would be a place that I would enjoy, and being able to slow travel and it not be like a financial, struggle, or just like really having to work hard to do this. So I came to the conclusion, which I kind of had a feeling that this was gonna be one of the conclusions, is that okay, I've seen everything all over the U.S. that I wanted to see. My favorite cities are still pretty close to where I started at in the first place. My favorite city in the U.S. is still New Orleans. My favorite second and third city or fourth is Houston, Austin, and then Phoenix. That's it. Having the experience of traveling and being able to travel freely for as long as you want, I actually was like, yeah, I really like Houston. I really like Austin. I really like Phoenix. Phoenix is a surprise to me. I would have never thought that I would have liked Arizona. But why Mexico? I actually want to move to Mexico like since 3 years ago. I was actually going to take my van and road trip through Mexico and down to Central America and eventually to South America or as far as you can get with a car. I chose Mexico because one is literally right there. Like, I used to live in Texas. Mexico's right there. Um, Two, I really enjoy like almost everything that I could think of that is Mexican. I enjoy it. Like I love the food. I love the different kind of cuisines. It's so many places that I travel to the U.S. that whenever I encounter like Mexican cuisine or Latin cuisine, that I'm always like, ooh, I want that. Ooh, I want that. I want tacos. Oh, I want to try this. I want to try that. So I knew that like the food was gonna be popping. I actually came to Mexico for the street food, something that a lot of Americans are told not to do. Like, don't eat street food. I came for the street food because that's what I used to do in the U.S. I would go to the food trucks. Actually, some of the best food trucks are in the most sketchy neighborhoods. I'm one of those people that's so much of a foodie that I will go to the hood, even if I don't live in it, and because I know the food there is gonna be really good. Um, I love the festive and colorful style of like the art. I love the Mexican folk art. I love Frida Kahlo. I hope that's how you pronounce her name. Please forgive me if that's not correct. But yeah, I love that kind of art. Also being around so many artists from Mexico, as an artist in LA. I used to live in LA and I used to go to all the art walks, and most of the artists were Latino, and a lot of them were of Mexican descent. So, and I always liked their art. I always thought it was vibrant. I always thought it was beautiful. I always thought it was very detailed and just. So I knew like, okay, you're gonna like their art. I like the clothes. I love the bags with the flowers. I have so many Mexican purses and things before I even had the courage to go. So yeah, I'm like stepping into my power and shit. And so I feel like my art is my less legacy, and I feel like my art is my mark on the world, especially regarding doing the murals in Mexico, but online too, because my work is accessible to people all over the world. And not only is it a way to possibly retire early, because I'm constantly creating more content, and that's increasing your odds of having more royalties, especially if you're like very in tune with what people like, and you have a following, and or you tap into certain niches, and you just yes, like you can really do well with that enough to live abroad and thrive. Um, but yeah, my goal is to be more impactful with my art and put more like positive, uplifting messages with my art out into the world. And really just having like all the diaspora, all the melanin in there, and all their radiance, and just so many cultures being celebrated, and just so many people just. And I've actually had people when I was selling art in person, and especially when I started selling art online, people actually say thank you, for having this representation out there, because I had like so much art with black, young black men playing music and black ballerinas and just uplifting, art for our people. You feel me? So yeah, I'm very grateful, and I do other cultures too. So I'm glad to like be a service. Yeah, like I want to do inspirational art and of black people, of various people of color. Representation matters so much. I wouldn't be here without representation. So I feel like I'm putting this out into the world to have. And also I see that like it's a shortage still like of black women having art that they feel like represents them or the culture or our people in like a really beautiful, uplifting kind of way. And I want to put more of that into the universe along with like positive affirmations. It's not just for the people who are buying the art, it's for me too. Because, you know, every time I look at it, I'm like reliving this being put out into the universe. And it's something so beautiful. So it's almost like a ministry, you know, but I'm not like religious. I'm more spiritual, but it's like that's like my contribution to the world is my art and all the various forms that and it can manifest and be put out to be bought by other people. Putting this out in the universe for us to have, we deserve it. We deserve all the beauty. And I urge other artists to put their work out there. I don't feel like it is a competition. I feel like we need more of this out here. You know, your voice needs to be heard, and this is a way that you can express yourself. And trust somebody will want to buy your work, something that you have. And I just feel like I want to contribute to like the I don't even know the word, like the reincarnation of the Black Renaissance, and it could really be like a major movement, a major era. Like, cause mind you, Black history is always perpetually created. It, you know, the Harlem Renaissance, the original one. Uh, those people at the time didn't even know like they were gonna be a part of Black history. It just was living their lives, and here we are, you know, following their footsteps. So yeah, passing torches and whatnot. But yeah, my goal is to like put out good messages in the world, inspire and have beautiful melanated art and culturally significant art for people of various backgrounds. I'm Omega Sampson.